CBN has said its decision to lay off some of its staff was to reposition the bank for effective operation. 600. Anyways, without that, there are implications to that. If we're going to have 600 people lose their job who used to work in the CBN, businesses that rely on the CBN for various services, loans, regulations may face uncertainty during this period of restructuring, because that's actually what it is. Okay? So with a reduced workforce, there could be delays or changes in how the CBN operates. So banks are like the ones that directly work with the CBN. What could they be looking at in coming days if 600 of CBN staff are going to not be there anymore? Anyways, that's also why the House of Representatives is looking into it. Yes. And there's also the issue of that. If 600 people are losing their job, we're going to see it's a sign of a struggle. If you were looking for more signs whether or not economy was struggling, this is one of it. This is a sign of a struggling economy. Okay, and it also means that other financial institutions could consider such similar staff reduction. So they may be opening the door to more of this job cuts, like we call it. And this is going to create a ripple effect of job losses, especially in the financial sector. That's what I see happening here. So let's see what that investigation by the House, let's see what it could do. Is it going to maybe, help them ensure that the right people are laid off? Who is the right people? I don't know. But basically, it's something to keep an eye on. If you operate in the financial sector, please pay attention to this, because it's right around the corner. And then another story here talks about the Minister of Finance. Of course, the ministers gave a scorecard yesterday. I think it's continuing as well. But the Minister of Finance and as the coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, talked about the fact that the social investment program is being reinstated. Actually, he said a lot of things yesterday. And the one that got my attention the most is the fact that he said that the country's economy grew by 2.99% in the first quarter of 2024. If I go by what all of the guests I've had in the first quarter of the year have been saying, I would strongly disagree. But hey, he's got the numbers. He's got those papers, not me, right? But yeah, while he was making his presentation at the multi-sectorial briefing in Abuja, he said that the development indicated an increase from the 2.3% growth seen in the previous year. And then that the growth in the agricultural sector was having a positive effect in combating inflation and stabilizing food prices. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling it. Am I the only one? Okay, maybe I'm the only one. Nah, I'm not the only one. I talked to enough people to come to that conclusion that no way is not happening. But well, that's what's on paper, and what it is, what it could mean in coming days. Let's see if in coming days we're going to actually feel what they have on paper. That's the minister now and all that he said. Anyways, so he also said that the suspended social investment program, they are going to start it again and do direct payments to 75 million Nigerians in 15 million households to reduce the suffering of citizens. It sounds great on paper again, but who is checking for transparency and accountability to ensure that money gets to the right people, the people who are going to really need this, who need it at this time? Anyways, that's one thing to really keep an eye on there. And then, of course, today, both at the federal and the state level, we have the president marking his 1 year in office. We also have the governor of Rivers State marking his 1 year in office, and a lot of English has been spoken if you've been following it. And then the one that people just couldn't forget, which is why subsidy is gone, is trending, because it's also exactly a year today that the president, while reading his inauguration speech, said to us, fuel subsidy is gone. And that just opened up a Pandora box, should I call it that, or an economic wind started blowing since then, and it hasn't stopped till date. At this point, it would be great to congratulate you that you've survived the last 1 year. Yes, because we've seen prices double, triple, continues to go up. High inflation like we've not seen in a long time. We've seen unprecedented figures when it comes to our inflation numbers. And I just wanted to end this segment of the show on that note, because people haven't forgotten what it did to them. Is it from the cost of petrol? How on that very same day we saw queues at filling stations. On that very same day, the cost of the product went up, and it's never come down ever since. Gravity doesn't happen around here. Well, social media users remembered all of it and just, were really reminiscing about it. Subsidy is gone. The word that changed the trajectory for them in Nigeria. And they also think that government is not being truthful about the subsidy payment, because there's no statistics, no calculations, or account for what they've achieved so far with this policy. Anyways, we're keeping an eye on that one as well. We've done a special report on that. I think it was in the news as well. You follow the news. If you don't follow the news, start following the news. Repent today and start following the news. There's a lot we share there. All right. So yeah, fuel subsidy is gone, but we are not. We are here. Congratulations to you if you've survived the last 1 year and you're still keeping your head above the water. Your business is still succeeding. This is me congratulating you that you have not locked your shop. And please do not keep it there. All right. And the resilient spirit of Nigerians is going to pull you through, and we're going to be okay. All right. So that's it on Market Watch today. My guest has already joined me. And like I told you, it's time for Insider Tips. And on Insider Tips today, we're looking at the minimum wage. It appears to be at the center of a lot of things. When I say a lot of things, I mean it appears to be at the center of whether or not we're going to move forward as a country. Will a new minimum wage be agreed upon before the deadline hits? That's the deadline that the labor unions have given to the federal government to conclude all of this. Or are we headed for a potential showdown? I mean, are we going to see another strike and protest? Anyways, it's time to dissect all of this. I have joining me the chairman of the Nigeria Labour Congress in Rivers State. Hello, Mr. Alex. Are you there? Can you hear me?
Good day to all the listeners.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Alex Agwanwor, Chairman, NLC River State Council and National Treasurer, New Peng. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, so I wish you were here to join me for Market Watch. I actually would love my guests to have conversations with me regarding Market Watch, but it's okay. I appreciate that you made time for this. So let's really dive right into it, talking about the minimum wage. The back and forth has been on for a couple of weeks now, and we cannot help but wonder what is going on. Why has it been postponed indefinitely now? Talking about the negotiation.
Well, I think on our own part, it's quite unfortunate that even with all that is happening, the present economic reality that the masses are facing, that the workers are also enduring with the little peanut that was called salary, there is no more taking us home anymore. So at this point in time, government is coming to the table and bringing in figures that does not meet the current reality. I think for us, negotiation is all about negotiating in good faith. Our people, our representatives in that committee have just observed government is not coming for negotiating in good faith. The government is taking the workers for granted. Government is taking Nigerians for granted. For proposing 50,000 minimum wage, okay, on your own, can you just do a kind of statistics? Because the minimum average worker is a man, wife, and 4 children. What can Ghana do in 30 days for a man to survive it, for a worker to survive? We're not talking about dependents, because every worker has a minimum of 10 dependents. So this is very, disappointing when it's coming from people that would think that should be giving hope to the Nigerians that are elected to make an impact, to improve the welfare of the citizens. And for us, we are not seeing that happen, because we have seen a lot of bogus allowances, increases in terms of their benefits, and also increasing the portfolios in governance. And you think that we need to create a way, we work and create a way. Without us, they are nowhere. So, but you see the level of where they keep us as workers. So for us, this is time to resist it. And we can't continue this way. So we have said that we're not going to negotiate anymore. And don't forget, on the 1st of May, we gave an ultimatum that from that day to the end of May, if this position will not end, that we have no option than to advance ourselves. And to either go on protest or withdraw our members from service. So I think that is the position for now.
Interesting. Now, can you explain the reasoning behind this specific figure, 494,000 naira as minimum wage?
Well, this 494,000 is our current position now in terms of proposal. And if you look at it, if we take statistics of the inflation, the exchange rate, the current price of goods and services, even if you look at exchange from the time we negotiated 30,000 naira, and for what we have now, what is the price of dollar then? And what is 30,000 naira per dollar as of that time? Calculate it. Then talk about presently. What is 30,000 naira now? And what use the dollar now as of today and check. You see the difference are in a very big part. And if you look at the 494, we are not saying that it's like a take it or leave it. It's still a proposal, but what we are saying, the government is not coming up reasonably. Wants to come to a point of possible agreement. Because for us to begin to reduce our position, the government must show good faith by beginning a position that can drive the options on the table. Wants to have an agreement. So for now, 60,000 cannot drive that negotiation. And that's what our people are talking about. So we have tried as much to come down from 6, we started with 6 something, and we look away now 4 something. And we are trying as much to make sure that we close the gap. The government is not moving as expected in this negotiation. So it's very frustrating. That is why we back out of the meeting.
I mean, the government proposed 60,000 naira, and that's really a significant increase from the initial offer.
No, how can it be significant, Thomas? Look at, let's say for instance, the MSF of the petrol. When first subsidy was removed, the price of petrol increased about 300%, I think. That was there. But for now, it has gone to about 600% in terms of petrol from when subsidy was removed up to date. And you can agree with me that the price of goods have increased even at the same level of percentage. What are we talking about? Okay, let's apply the rate of price of goods or services, the level of increase. We are talking only that if we put 600% of 30,000, how much are we getting? We're talking about close to about 200,000 naira. But for me, that is fair. But government is not even coming up. Most you continue to work as a worker, you work for 35 years, you start for 35 years, and you go with nothing. You end up just working, feeding yourself and family. After retirement, 2 or 3 years, they announce your victory. No, that's not sense of work. A sense of work is for you to work, but you have to be a living minimum wage. A work that will keep you, that will survive you and your family, that can take care of you. Even after work, you can still live with it. And you can have an investment that can keep you going, even after retirement. But for now, I'll tell you, with the current salary structure, the current salary of workers, no worker can make any reasonable savings out of now. Okay, which which savings can you make out of 6,000 naira? You will end up borrowing before the end of the month. It's not even enough to pay transport to work and come back. Come back to feed yourself and your family. That's what we are talking about.
Now, I don't know. Does it mean that we won't see? There's no room for compromise from the labor side on the minimum wage demand.
No, we are still open. We are open. The 494 is not take it or leave it. So there's room for compromise. There's room for discussion. The government should come up with good faith. What I mean good faith? Reasonable proposal. I give you an instance now.
What would be reasonable? What would be reasonable?
If they take into statistics, like what I said, let me say for instance, what drives, for me, that's my personal opinion, what drives the economy of Nigeria is petrol. If anytime they increase the petrol, automatically the price of goods and services will increase. As of now, by the time this government came into power and they removed subsidy, petrol will increase about 200%. About 100% increase. So now, the petrol has increased. As it was 5 something. Now we are at, in fact, the last time I bought 840. That's close about even 800% increase. So if the government is coming with something like, think about like half of the level of what has the increase of the petrol increase, or we can begin to look at it. We can begin to talk to them. But now you are just 30,000 to 60,000, just 100% on what was already existing. So if you put like 100% on the existing, then we can talk. Like it's come from 150,000, we can start discussing. But for now, look at where you are. And we have made it clear. It's high time we move up for minimum wage. What most countries have today is not minimum wage, it's a living wage. That's what most countries operate with. So should be asking for minimum wage in Nigeria. We're asking for a living wage. The wage that can take care of you, take care of your family, and also take care of some certain basic amenities for providers in the society. So look at the everyday citizens increasing the tax rate is increasing, even the interest rate is increasing. So these are all burdens. Government should be there in order to impact on the people, and not to impoverish or suffer the people. For Nigeria today, for me, this 1 year of the election of the government is about impoverishing people more, because there is no impact. Nigerians have come down than expected. We try for the first administration, but I think we are getting worse with the administration.
Okay. Now, the May 31st deadline is really close, and that's the deadline set by Labour. And it's fast approaching. It's in about 2 days. That's the May 31 deadline for this negotiation to be wrapped up. What happens if a new minimum wage isn't agreed upon by then?
Well, we have May 31st, like you said, in season. For now, to that May 31st midnight, if nothing happens, I believe as our leaders at all ranks will meet and will get directive on what to do. I think if that happens, you will also be communicated. But for now, that's it.
Okay, now let's talk about businesses. Some argue that a high minimum wage like what you're proposing could hurt businesses, especially small and medium enterprises, because they cannot pay. Yesterday I was telling someone that currently even jobs as like nanny jobs, where you have to pay minimum wage, current minimum wage is 30,000 naira. Some homes are already feeling that pinch, and some of them are letting these people go and saying we'll wing it. I'm just using that as an example. Talk more of businesses, small and medium scale businesses having to pay what you're proposing. It's a high minimum wage, honestly. How would NLC, or rather Labour, address these concerns?
Everybody working has a family. Yes, whether you're a nanny, you employ a nanny, you take care of your nanny. You make sure that you pay a wage that the nanny can also be covered and take care of it. The nanny is taking care of your child. That nanny, the child safety is in the hand of that nanny. So you must do something, provide a very good salary that will make sure the nanny is taking care of the child properly. You know, what is the minimum wage? So for the small-scale businesses, most small-scale businesses are either entrepreneur, one-man business, or family business.
Absolutely.
Father, son, picking, your son.
Traders.
So, those cases, or it's like a half-manship. They get people that work for them, they train them, they settle them. But when you want to employ somebody in a formal employment, the rule is that you must not pay below the minimum wage. So I believe that if this figure is also approved, it also boosts the market value. So you can see that there will be flow of money in the system. There will be flow of cash. It will increase. It will boost business too. So that will also help people to also take care of anybody you employ. The market will increase. A man that earns 100,000 naira, if he earns 200,000 tomorrow, he's not going to market with the same amount of money. So that will also boost business. Okay, nobody has any reason not to pay if it is implemented. And also, there's this argument that if you increase minimum wage, you increase the price of goods and services in the market. I say how? Okay, now that the goods are increasing, why is salary not going up? When salary goes up, you not increase without any basis. Because the salary increase, you not increase your goods. No, it's not acceptable now. That is we, as Nigerians, don't be ourselves.
Now, let's stay on, what you've already mentioned. That's a rising cost of living. The frustration about that is really growing. How critical is a significant increase in the minimum wage to address these concerns? Did you hear that?
Oh my God, I didn't get it.
Yes, the frustration regarding the rising cost of living is growing. You mentioned it already. And so how critical, okay, let's just stay on that because you just touched on it. So how critical is a significant increase in the minimum wage going to address these concerns? About how critical is it? Is it going to be significant or is it a probability if there's an increase in the minimum wage?
Surely, it will be significant because if that happens, first of all, you see that the salary, the purchasing power to meet up with the current rise of goods and services will be there. So if your salary, if right now, some persons who are going by one bag of rice in a month to buy and keep the house for the family and have a salary of 6,000 naira, it's not possible anymore. Like you can go for a if you can afford maybe a custard. So I cannot afford one bag anymore because they are salary for 30,000 or whatever it is. Even 2,000 the offer cannot even afford it because bag of rice is between 85,000 naira. So that if difficulty you increase the minimum wage, maybe to that let me say like 150 or 200, somebody can go through the matter and buy a bag of rice 88 and keep in the house. And if other ones to take and take care of the other family, maybe transport, children, house rent, electricity, other things. There are a lot of we're in a country where nothing is provided for. I know people. Electricity is not there. You pay for it. You pay for education for you and your children. You pay for medical health care. You pay for rent or you give your own. So government is not providing anything. So as a worker, if that little salary you get, it's not you to provide all these things for yourself. So that is the challenge.
Okay.
If there's a significant increase, it doesn't help to boost the purchasing power of the workers and increase flow of money in the economy, and it also will boost business. It will go a long way to help, honestly.
All right, let's open the phone lines now. I'd like to get few thoughts regarding this. And the question is still about your thoughts, okay? What should we consider fair? If you're listening right now, I'm asking you. You've heard the government's offer, 60,000 naira. You've heard the labor union's offer, 494,000 naira. What's your offer? What's your own take on this? Is 494,000 naira a realistic minimum wage for Nigeria? What number would you consider fair? That's the question I'm asking. You've also heard the NLC chairman in River State, Mr. Alex Agwanwor. He's been talking about this and explaining the implications both for businesses and also how it would affect the economy at the long run if this is approved. You've heard him. Now it's time for you to talk. You can call 0817 923 0002. You can also call 0817 923 0003. The WhatsApp number 0809 030 6416. That's the WhatsApp number. What number would you consider fair? What's the right number for our new minimum wage? What should it be? We're also live on Facebook and on YouTube at Nigeria Info PH, and the phone lines are buzzing. So let's start with it then we come to the messages. Hello, good afternoon. Yeah, good afternoon. I can hear you.
Afford 150,000. I don't afford if that have 20 work and pay minimum of 100, what is it? He goes home with not so the minimum is good.
Okay, I respond to electric on that. This is Gospel calling in from Hello, good afternoon. Yeah, you're welcome in figures. What numbers compare?
What in that? You look at the cost of things you give them the humanity have just what is the problem? This will not be the problem here. I don't know what is solve the problem here. You look at the people and you like that. I think God can ask them to move the states may even collapse. They may not pay or they end up paying salaries alone, and there will be no development on the state. I am not saying it is not good to pay them more than that, but the issue is that when we consider this, we consider the other one, the advantage and disadvantage.
Okay.
That's the problem. If I suggest 100,000 with the IG, so that the inflation rate may not be so high.
All right.
Because the higher the minimum wage, the higher the other. This one we are crying. That means person of Gary or rights can maybe 100,000 people competing with the money. Let them money 100,000. Thank you. God bless you. And when you go forward.
Okay, thank you, Gospel, for your contribution. I have William calling in from Oyibo. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yeah, you're welcome to Talking
My
Figures.
name is William, calling from Oyibo.
Yeah, go on.
I have one question, just a question before I start talking for the Labour Chairman River State chapter. The money they are proposing that federal government should pay them, how does it affect the masses positively? How does it affect those people that are not civil servants working directly for the government? Because if you look at the group of persons, marketers, police station owners, they will be in a group chat saying that they should increase fuel to social amount of money. Labor will not talk. TUC will not talk. Electricity tariff has been high. Nobody will speak for the masses. So now they are proposing for their own gain what federal government will pay to them. How does it affect me? How do I benefit from this money? They will not tell federal government that the price of oil is high. They should bring it down, find a way to feed the refineries. The electricity tariff that has been high all this while, they will not tell them to bring it down. They want to negotiate for 400 or 600,000 that the federal government will pay them. It's another way of telling federal government that when you pay us this money, forget about the masses. Anything you want to sell your fuel, sell. Anything you want, any price you want to fix for anything, fix. So for me, I am saying that they should not even give them 1 naira from what it used to be. Because I am angry here. How can they be negotiating something that will not benefit the masses? Is it everybody working for the government?
Okay, William. William, yes. What do you do? Do you run a business or have you employed?
And my business is being affected. I run a barbing business, and because of.
Do you have employees? Do you have those that you employ?
Hello.
Do you have employees?
No, I don't have. I don't have.
Okay. All right. Okay. So the guest is listening to you, and I'm going to have him respond to you. And
so
thank you.
Tell us how it will affect the masses massively. The money they are proposing to be given to.
I think he already actually answered that when he said that it's going to ensure, the economy is going to improve when the minimum wage increases. He actually mentioned that. Well, I'll still have him talk about it.
I don't have anybody who is a civil servant in my house. So how does the money come to my table?
Okay. When there's more purchasing power,
is taking everything, and
William, from what he explained. All right, thank you for your time. I have other people waiting, so let's hear from Christian Bonny. He's calling from Bonny Island. Hello, Christian.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yes, I think increasing the minimum wage is not the issue here. The issue here is how do we make the little that is in the purse of the civil servant valuable, worth something. That is what is the bone of contention. What do I mean? Even if they pay that 60,000 as proposed by the federal government, the issue is at the end of the day, the ordinary man who carries load in the market, who sells tomato, will increase his own price of goods too. Everything will increase. You know, Nigerian, this is not the first time. It happened the last time. They will increase it. But what the government ought to do is to flood the market with goods. Flood the market with goods. The value of the dollar is killing a lot of businesses. I can tell you categorically clear that all the rice production, Nigeria is producing enough rice since the time of good luck with that Minister of Agri, Akinyemi or whatever, who is now the MD of African Development Bank, headquarters in Abidjan, Ivory Coast. To Buhari's time, there is enough rice. But the issue is that because of the value of the Naira, I can tell you most of those countries that we were bringing rice for in those days, like Benin, Togo, and so on, they are getting rice from Nigeria. Nigerian rice is going across the border now.
Okay, Christian, because of time,
it's more expensive than buying rice from Nigeria here, and that's why we don't have enough.
Okay, point made, Christian. Can we have
goods? Let the goods be cheap.
Noted.
The little money the civil servant have in their pocket will be more valuable than cement, because these are the two important things: feeding and shelter over your head. Once the government thinks about this, they've solved the problem of the ordinary man on the street. Cement should come down.
All right, Christian. I have to let you go now because of time, so we can have others who are already lined up. We have Origi calling from Obogu. Thank you for joining us. Good afternoon. Please keep it brief so we can have others join, okay?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
There is one question I want to ask you. Do you know what happened in 1970 during the Odoji time when they paid the Odoji to civil servants?
I don't. Tell us what you
know
said.
That was when inflation of Nigeria, cost of goods and cost of food started. That time, dollar was very low to Nigeria. Dollar is not even our problem. Our problem is civil servants. Because they don't fight for the masses. They are fighting for their selfish ends. Why can't they fight and say, let the filling stations, the fuel, the light come down? As soon as we have enough light in our country, have enough fuel in our country, all this will be a thing of the past. With about 5,000 naira, do you expect me to sell it low? No, but as soon as I'm going to Port Harcourt with about 1,000 or 500, my gari will go low. So even if they pay civil servant 1 million naira, it will be a hardship to Nigeria, more hardship. So I am saying that no money should be added to this civil servant because it will be a hardship to total Nigeria. Instead, let civil servants fight for our fuel to come. Let the refineries work. That will be our end of suffering. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. That's Origi called in from Obogu. I was going to ask him, where is that? Where is Obogu? I was going to ask him that. Anyways, Mr. Alex, you're there, right?
Yeah, I'm there with you.
Okay, how do you respond to all of that? Starting with a caller, I think Williams from Oyibo talked about I think we had one who suggests 100,000. What do you think about that? We had the first caller concerned that some people cannot afford to pay the minimum wage. I mean, because we are at a time where more and more people are encouraged to structure their business. So once you structure your business and register with CAC and you are now called a business, you're required to follow and also pay the minimum wage. And she's saying that some of these businesses cannot pay. What do you say to all of that?
Well, you can see the last man that was asking that they should not pay workers minimum wage. When you ask him a question, does he have a business? Yes. How many people does he have? He say nobody. You understand? The kind of businesses you are also doing. You know, there's no doubt that when you increase minimum wage, it will slightly increase also the price of production. Because even the factories will have to increase the value of the workers in order to boost production too. You understand?
Yes.
And that will also increase the price of their goods. But how does that relate to the man that goes to farm on your own and you, on your own, you get this agricultural products like dairy, all the farm products? How does that affect the same man? After the normal cost of transportation, that nothing will change. That is controlled by the fuel price.
Okay.
How does it affect it? It has no relationship with it.
All right, Mr.
Because
Alex.
the cost of transport is not changing. Let me make them understand. The minimum wage, it's not only for civil servants. It's for everybody, both public and private. Both those are anybody employed, engaged officially, is entitled to a minimum wage. I think they must understand that. So what does NSC do? We are not fighting for ourselves. We are not fighting for civil servants. We are fighting for Nigerians. If there's not anybody working today, somebody in our family will work tomorrow.
All right. Now let's read messages before, because of time, Mr. Alex.
The tariff, remember we did a protest about 2 weeks ago for electricity tariff.
Yes.
And they have removed the tariff. So what's the MSC fighting for the masses? Is there only MSC members that are paying the high cost of tariff? But the tariff have been suspended in December. We fought for it, not about that. Nobody joined us. But for the benefit of everybody.
Okay.
So when we put a fight, we don't look at ourselves. Like I said earlier, every worker has a minimum of 10 dependents.
All right.
I look up to him or her.
Okay, now let's read messages before we leave the studio. Mr. Alex, we have a message here. I don't think he puts his name, but he says, Nigeria Info, you are the mouthpiece of the masses and in extension the poor. Please call on the attention of our able governor Sim to set up a committee to monitor the filling stations. The price we're buying fuel in River State is higher than other states, he says. Therefore, government needs to check the filling stations. Thank you for your message there. We have one here from Soki Fobara from Port Harcourt. He says the Trans-Calabari Road is far overdue to be done. The current roads we have, these things are not related to what we're talking about though. So let me sieve through the ones that are related to what we are talking about. This one is plenty. Okay, it says Choma and Get, good day. Labor put on your thinking cap, because too much liquidity in the system will increase the hyperinflation besieging Nigeria. Remember the unemployed and non-workers. Labor should accept lower wage than 100k and ensure job creation by resuscitation of PAN, VOM, Basita Sugar, steel industries and factories, textile mills and the rest of them. Refineries revamping to reduce cost of fuel, electricity production, cheaper transportation. The list just goes on. Thank you, goodness, for your message, but that's actually the much I can read. So always try to keep it short so I can have more comment. I have one here from he says Anthony Ward sent this in from Nkpolurimi, but he says for the first time Labour is getting it right by defending the masses. I must congratulate their proactiveness. God bless Comrade Alex Agwanwor. I hope you can hear that, Mr. Alex.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank
you. Yes, we have one here from, let me see. He said, just so you know, I'm also a civil servant. Am I mixing it up? Let me see. Hi Choma. Personally, I think the NLC is putting too much focus on the minor issue at the moment. I believe what they should be agitating for is for the federal government to fast track the functioning of the Port Harcourt refinery, at least for a start. Trust me, if the price of fuel comes down, it will automatically make the prices of goods, especially food, come down. This is something that affects the larger population of Nigerians and not just civil servants. Please, this is what NLC should focus on for now. Then we can talk about increase in minimum wage after that. And that's Onisokian from Port Harcourt, and he says, just so you know, I'm a civil servant. Time is up. We're going to go for the news. Thank you so much, Mr. Alex, for being a part of today's show. And we'll keep an eye on all of this development. And I hope it doesn't get to a strike, actually. All right?
Thank you very much. Thank you, listening to you.
Okay, and that's it on Talking Figures today. Up next, Rivers Today. After that, Kalada will be here to take you on Hard Facts. My name is Choma Ezewafo. Thank you for being a part of the show. Have a lovely one.